everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make this fabulous double bobble stitch. Now you can see it makes these lovely chunky bobbles. It adds nice texture to your projects. You can add these as decoration to maybe blankets. Now, if you follow my channel, you know I'm doing a stash busting row a day blanket where I'm adding a row of bobbles. Just every fourth row is a row of bobbles. So as you can see, you could add this to blankets. Wouldn't this look fabulous if the trebles in between were just white, and then you could have a row here of sort of rainbow colours that would make a lovely baby blanket. You can use these bobbles in when you're working in the round. As you can see, I've just made up a little coaster as an example. Now you could turn this into a cushion going out and out. I have still followed the rules of increasing as I go out. Now these larger bobbles, I've worked this example up using 2 strands of DK weight yarn. So they've come out really nice and chunky. And this round was on the round where you do 2 stitches, then an increase, 2 stitches, then an increase. So what I did instead of that, I did 1 stitch, a bobble, then an increase, 1 stitch, a bobble, and then an increase. So you are still sticking to the laws of increasing as you go out. But I think if you worked in the round and did a pillow using these bobble stitches, then you would have a nice sort of boho effect. And again, you could do your bobble stitch in a different colour. Anyway, I'm going to be showing you just how to make a little swatch up. So let's get bobbling. Now for this example, I'm going to be using a DK weight yarn. This is Starcraft Special DK in this beautiful pomegranate shade. I'm also going to show you using a 4.5mm hook. Now I love these Clover and More hooks. They are my favourite hook to use. Now I would normally for DK weight use a 4mm, but just so that you can see the stitches a little better, I'm going to be using a 4.5 today. So before we start bobbling, just a note to say, when we make each bobble, we are actually working on the reverse of our work. So we are making the bobble as we go along, and then the bobble stitches are pushed out away from us. So just something to think about. We're going to start bobbling on row 2 with this example. And therefore we need to make sure that the next time we do a row of bobbles, it's an even number. Now if we started bobbling on row 3, we would want to then make sure we were bobbling on an odd number. Otherwise you're going to have bobbles on this side and then bobbles on that side as well. This will become clear, and then obviously once you practice at home you'll see what I mean. Also on this example you can see as we work down I'm offsetting our bobbles. Okay, so the first lot are along here and I have left 3 stitches in between, and then as we move down this bobble will then be in the centre. So to line these up you would need to put an odd number of stitches in between your bobbles, so that as you move down you can offset them centrally. Okay, if you have an even number of stitches in between your bobbles, then as you go down these bobbles are going to be slightly off center. Now you only need to worry about this if this is the effect you want. If you're just adding a row every now and then to a blanket, it wouldn't really matter. So let's get cracking. So we're just going to start off by putting a slip knot on our hook. So you can do this however you normally do. I'll just show you how I do mine. I put my yarn across, then I go under, grab that yarn, take my fingers out, and we're ready to go. Now I'm going to start by doing a chain of 24. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, 24. Now, I normally do this for a swatch. The first row, I'm literally just going to go along this chain, putting UK doubles in each of the chains. So we need to start from the second loop on our hook, which is this one here. And I'm just going to do a row of UK doubles, that's US singles. So UK double, push through, grab the yarn, pull it through. We've got 2 on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through those 2. So you're just going to work along this foundation chain, just putting in those UK doubles. You should end up with 23 stitches. So I've got to the end of row 1. And we have completed, I've just gone along and checked that we have 23 stitches. Now I want to have 23 stitches because I want a number that if we had it divisible by 4, our last bobble would literally be on the end. So I took a number that was divisible by 4, but because we had our turning chain at the beginning, it went down to a number that was divisible by 4. With a remainder of 3. So I'm going to have 3 stitches at the beginning, 3 stitches at the end. I'm not going to have a bobble right on the end, and then that should work with this particular pattern going up. Obviously, if you're using your bobbles for anything else, then that won't matter at all. You'll just be adding them when and where you want them. But just for this technique, that's what I would stick to start with. Obviously, you can have a practice at home with your numbers, but I want row 2 to start and end with 3 stitches. Okay, so here we go with row 2. And because we're now going to be using UK trebles, that's US doubles, I'm going to start with a chain 2 up first for that height. I'm going to turn my work. In the first stitch, I'm just going to do a normal treble. So that's yarn over first, pull through. I've got 3 in my hook, grab that yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then I'm going to do another 2 trebles just to take me across. So that's 1, 2. Now we are ready to put in our first double bobble. So we are going to start as if we're going to do a UK double treble, that's a US treble. We're going to wrap our yarn around twice. Then I tend to hold my finger there so I've got control of my yarn. Then we're going to push through the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through. I've got 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2, and there I'm going to leave it. Normally, if I'm doing a double treble, I would then grab that yarn, pull through 2 again, but we're going to leave this where it is. So I've got 2 stitches. Then we're going to go again. So it's wrap around twice through that same stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. Then we're going to leave it. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to go again. Wrap it round twice through that same stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches on. We're going to go again. We need to keep doing this until we have 6 loops, so we need to go again. wrap around twice, push through, grab that yarn, pull it through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn and pull through 2. Have a count up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to go one more time. Wrap around twice, push through the same stitch, grab that yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on our hook. We're just going to grab that yarn and do this nice and carefully. We're going to pull through all 6 loops. Okay, and then if we turn, we can see the bobble is facing away from us. Then what I'm going to do in the next 3 stitches along is just 3 trebles. So that's 1, 2, oops, sorry, not you, and 3. Now what I'm going to do is just put the work down and you can see we have that fabulous first bobble. So we've done 3 more trebles along. Let's go through that one more time. We need to do another bobble in this stitch here. So we're going to wrap the yarn over twice, push through, grab the yarn and pull it through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. So we're going to have 2 left on our hook. And again, wrap twice, push through, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. We've got 3 loops on our hook. And again, wrapping twice, push through, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. We have 4 loops on our hook. Wrap it round twice, push through, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2. Whoops, so we have 5 on our hook. We need to do that one more time. Wrapping around twice, push through, grab the yarn, pull through, grab that yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. You just need to take your time, concentrate on what you're doing. I now have 6 loops on my hook. Grab that yarn and then just nice and slowly pull through all 6 loops. And if you turn, we have another bobble pushing out away from us. So I'm going to do another 3 trebles, just carrying along. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go over this just one more time with you. So in effect, we are actually doing that 5 times. So if we do it 5 times, we end up with the 6 loops on our hook, and then we know to pull through. So let's do that again. So it's yarn over twice, push through, grab the yarn, and then we're going to grab, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's 1. Pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's 2 times. So you see 2 times, but we have 3 loops. So if I do that again, so that's 3 times we've done that. We've got 4 loops. So I'm going to do that again the 4th time. We have 5 loops. One more. Just make sure you don't pull it through too many times. So that's the 5th time, and I have 6 loops. So it's grab that yarn, pull through all of those loops. So you can see if you put your work down, you have your lovely bobbles. So carry along. You need to do 3 trebles, bobble, 3 trebles, bobble, and you should end up with 3 stitches left. I will meet you here. So I finished my row 2 and I finished with those 3 just normal trebles. Now we need to turn our work, but again we need to chain up 2 for that height. Now for row 3 we are literally just going to do a row of UK trebles, that's US doubles, working in the tops of those V's. Now you will need to look down. If I just take my hook out just for a moment. Now you can see, sorry I've just knocked you again. You can see at the top of the trebles from the row before that you can just recognise those. But when you have where we had a bobble on the row before, the V is quite a long stretched out one. And if we go along again, you can see this is quite long and stretched out V, but we do need to just count that as our V's. So as we do our trebles all the way along, I would just make sure you count at the end that you still have your 23. Okay, so I'm just going to start. So it's literally this row 3 is just a row of trebles. So if I just get to that bobble, sorry where that bobble was on the previous row. Why do I keep knocking you? I do apologise. So you can see that's a nice long stretched out V there. So just go into the top of that. It might seem a little bit weird to start with, but you'll get used to it. So I would go all the way along and just count when you get to the end that you do just have your 23 stitches. So just carry on. This is row 3. So you can see if I was going to put bobbles in on this row, because the bobbles push out, then they would be on the wrong side. We want our bobbles to be on the same side. That is why I say if we start bobbling on row 2, it needs to be on an even number row. If you start bobbling on this row, then you would need to keep that on odd number rows all the way through your project. Now I know this from experience. Unless for some reason you do want bobbles on both sides, it's entirely up to you. So carry along, this is row 3, literally just putting trebles all the way along. So I've finished and I've just double checked I have 23 stitches. So we're going to go on to row 4. So I'm going to chain 2 up for the height. Now row 4, we're just going to start with 1 treble. Okay, and then we are going to do our first bobble. So we need to do that once, double wrap, twice, double wrap, 3 times, double wrap, 4, double wrap, and 5. So we've got 6 on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all 6 loops. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 trebles. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Then we're going to do another bobble stitch. So that's next door, just scraping something. 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I've gone through too many. No, I haven't. And 5. You just have to keep an eye. Sometimes at this stage, I tend to go through too many stitches. So again, just check. I've got 6 on my hook. Pull through. And then I'm just going to do 3 trebles, and then I'll lay it down and show you how this row is slightly different from row 2. Just in the positioning of the bobbles. So that's 3 trebles. So can you see that I've positioned the bobbles now? So we'll have another one on top of this stitch, and you're getting that sort of offset look to them. So this is just what you'd need to do if you want that effect. So this is row 4. So I'm going to keep going now. So I started just with 1 treble, then I did my bobble, 3 trebles, bobble, and then I've done 3 trebles, so it'll be bobble, 3 trebles, bobble, 3 trebles, all the way along, and I should be left with just 1 stitch left to go. So I finished off my row 4 with just 1 treble. There was 1 treble left to do on the end. So before we do row 5, we do our chain 2 up, turn our work, and row 5 is exactly the same as row 3. So making sure we're getting each of those stitches, we're just going to put a treble stitch. Again, just have a look down because you'll have those longer V's on top of where you've put your bobbles in. So row 5, just carry along, putting trebles in. You should still have 23 stitches. So that's all there is to it really. So what you're going to do now, we've come to the end of our row 5. You're just going to repeat rows 2 to 5. So the next row you need to chain 2 up, flip your work, and then you're going to start with 3 trebles, bobble, 3 trebles, bobble, 3 trebles. Then on row 7 it's going to be just a row of trebles. Then on row 8 you're going to flip your work, and then you're going to be start with 1 treble, then a bobble, then 3 trebles, then a bobble, so you get this effect going up. But as I say, you're literally just going to repeat rows 2 to 5 until you get to the size of work that you want. So that is the double bobble stitch for you. Now I do hope you enjoy using these bobbles as much as I do. If you found this video helpful, then please do give me a thumbs up down below. Click that subscribe button, and I will see you here next time. Bye bye.